Hi guys, and welcome back to the final part of our steel winch build, bumper build for the L200. If you've been following previous videos, we've basically got this far now. It's already in red oxide primer, so today's job is going to get the bumper off again. Going to make a few little modifications to how we mount it because it was a bit awkward to get some of the nuts on when we put it back together last time. But today's job primarily is to get this thing now sprayed up in the black Raptor paint. We've got a litre that we're going to use, so hopefully we'll have enough. We're going to finish off these front wings as well while we're at it. We're going to put a couple of mounts on for some spotlights on this A-frame, but apart from that we're pretty much ready to go. Remember from the last episode we had a bit of trouble getting these new lights to work. They basically were run off the old wiring loom from the old fog lights. We solved that. We essentially found that one of the fuses had gone, so we replaced that, so we've now got working spotlights on the front. We've also mounted a couple of rock lights underneath, which at some point we're going to get wired up so that we can shine up and light basically the wheels at night time if we're going anywhere where we need to see what we're doing as we're driving along. So enjoy today's video. We're going to spend a few minutes now getting this bumper off, ready to go, and we'll join you again in a few minutes. Paul, is there a quicker way that we can actually get this bumper off? Because I know in some of these videos you see people just simply click their fingers like this. That was easy. So the bumper's off. It wasn't quite as easy as you might have thought it looked. We're just tidying it up, ready for paint. Had a couple of ideas. We decided that, yeah, we originally went with this idea of this kind of eyebrow look when we were fitting these spots in. We thought it might kind of stop water and things like that, but you know what, we've had a bit of a slight change and we're going for a more aesthetic look. So if you want to follow me over this side, Paul has now basically taken off that eyebrow altogether. It's a much cleaner look. It actually looks, I think, a bit more like it's come straight out of the factory. Finished off really nicely. So we've got the other side to do. The side lights that I was waiting on last week, which hadn't arrived, are going to sit in there like that once we work that out. And we've just used the plasma cutter to cut a couple of metal tabs which we're going to mount on the top of this A-bar up here so that we can mount a couple of additional spots. So we're getting there. We'll soon have this ready now, hopefully, for paint. And we'll basically show you then what we're going to do initially to get this all cleaned up and ready to lay on a coat of Raptor. Okay guys, so we are almost ready now for paint. So Paul, what we've got at the moment is, as far as I can see it, a very dirty, sticky, greasy, it's been in the sort of rain for a week, bumper with bare metal, bit of red oxide, some Raptor paint from before. So what do we need to do now to actually prep it before we paint the actual Raptor paint on it?
Right, well, first of all, we're going to panel wipe it to degrease it. Right. Which is just a degreasing agent, which I haven't got to hand, but we'll spray that onto a cloth, wipe it down, gets rid of all the grease. Okay.
So that's the first thing, I suppose you don't want to rub that in by then.
Yeah, you want to get all the excess grease off before you start painting. Right, okay. Because when we start sanding, take the lacquer fill off.
Yeah. We'll essentially rub that in.
Yeah, when you start sanding, you'll rub the grease and dirt into the primer. Okay. So, degreased it, panel wiped it, got it clean. Get the DA, just take all the bits off, feather these edges out. Yeah. Just don't really need to go to town with it that much because we're putting this on. We're going with Raptor liner.
It's got a good texture on anyway.
Yeah, but still, key all your surfaces. Yeah. Get them ready for paint. Okay. The bare metal, where we've ground the primer off now, we've changed these angles and these shapes and touched up and changed the mines. We're going to etch prime, which you've got in that can there.
Now how does etch primer differ from me just buying a pot of grey primer at Halfords?
That's got an acid etch in it. Okay. And hence why it's called etch prime and not prime. Ordinary primer is to go on a keyed surface prior to paint. That is designed to go onto bare metal. Right, okay. So that actually has a mild acid in it, eats into the metal and keys itself to the metal. Right. So acid etch it, let that dry, and then we're ready for the Raptor liner. We're going to spray it then.
Right guys, so I'll come back to you when we're ready for the Raptor liner. Paul's going to show you how he mixes it, what the quantities are, And also because it's got a hardener, you've only got a certain amount of working time. It's not like a paint where you can just keep it, you know, sealed up and come back to it later. You've only got so long to actually use up this litre that we're going to use. So we'll come back to you when we've done all this, when it's ready, and then we'll start putting the Raptor paint on it. Right, so we are now at the stage where we're ready to basically paint it with Raptor paint. But what exactly is Raptor bed liner? I never knew what it was until Paul introduced me to it. And the concept of actually painting your entire car with it was a bit foreign, but this is what some guys in America did. And it's kind of like the whole idea of it is caught on. So Paul, what exactly is this Raptor liner that we're talking about all the time?
Well, the actual bed liner is in this bottle. It's a hard, durable, rubbery plastic coating, I guess would be the best way to describe it.
And we keep saying bed liner because essentially what it was originally made for was to spray the bed of your truck, wasn't it?
Yeah,
so
to put on the bed,
lined or anything,
yeah,
spray it with that instead.
You know, where you're chucking stuff in and out of the bed of your truck, you want something that's going to be resistant.
Yeah.
I mean, you can buy an added grit to add to this to make it tougher.
Right. You can colour it as well,
and make it more textured. You can get it in different colour.
Right.
Well,
so you can tint it.
You can tint it. It comes in a neutral colour, which is like a clear version. This is the black one.
Yeah.
And then you can add just your ordinary base coat to it, and you can tint it in any colour you want. But we're going for stealth black.
Yeah.
You get the bed liner comes in the bottle. There's 750ml of bed liner in each bottle.
Yeah.
You get the activator.
Right.
250ml of activator into the bottle makes a litre.
Okay, so that's straightforward, isn't it? You get four tubs of that, and you get one of those. It's a quarter of that into each one of those. Shake it up.
4 litres.
You've got what is a Schultz gun, which is basically it's not anything fancy, is it? It's just your basic Schultz gun.
Let me get that in shot. It's just your standard Schultz gun. The only difference is I've got a line feed on it, pressure gauge, so I know what the pressure is at the gun, because we're applying this at about 55-60 psi, not too high a pressure, because
that's quite low pressure, is it?
It's higher than what you would spray normal paint, but probably a bit lower than what you'd be spraying ordinary Schultz at.
Right. Okay.
But we're spraying at that pressure because we want to not too aggressive texture. You want a texture, but you don't want a really super aggressive texture. Yeah. You want an even texture.
Yeah, because we like the texture because it hides all the sins of, you know, what is an old vehicle, which has got, you know, a little bit of wear and tear to it. So brilliant. So we're going to mix it up now. We're just going to show you as we mix it up, and then you will video us as we start laying it on.
Yeah. Right. Let's crack on.
Excellent.
Right. As for mixing the Raptor liner, like I said, you need 250ml of activator to a, I'll throw that on the floor, 750ml bottle of bed liner. There is actually already 250ml in there because I've already mixed 3 bottles up for doing something else. So there's 1 measure left in there. So it's as simple as, it says on the tin, what is it? Fill, shake and shoot. I think I've said that before. But we're just up to the fill line, which this is the fill line here. Bob on. As you can see, I am wearing gloves because this is activator. It is isocyanate. You don't want to get it on your skin. It is poisonous. Lid on the bottom. Give it a good shake. Right, finish shaking that. That's all nicely mixed up in there. Make sure you get the hard bit off the bottom. Take the lid off. Gun in. And that's it. We are ready to go. We are ready to apply. Right, as I said before, we're going to be spraying this between 50-60 psi. I've got it on 55 on my gauge here. I've got a piece of paper, just going to do a test spray. And that's about the pattern I want and about the texture. So I'm going to get on with this. Right, here you have Chris in his natural habitat attaching bits to his truck, well, more to his bumper, which is going to be attached to his truck.
So we are finally at the end of the steel winch bumper build, and it looks amazing. Now don't panic, you're probably not seeing it in the best light because it's so dark now. It has literally become a stealth car, so we're going to pan around it in a minute so you get a better look at it. But everything's gone on. It went on a lot easier this time. We did a bit of work to make sure it mounts a bit easier. The litre of Raptor paint didn't go as far as we want. I think we underestimated a bit just how much metal work there was to paint, because obviously we did the reverse and we've done the front of it. So we didn't get to do the front wings as we were going to do. And what we'll do is when we do the front wings and the rest of the car is we'll probably throw another coat of paint on this. We can mask things up and we can still take things off and everything, so it's not a problem.
Yeah, we don't need to take the bumper off again, so
no,
we can just have another coat of paint.
Yeah, so it went on easy, but easy is, I use that in the loosest possible terms. And what is nice as well is, this bonnet was done in Raptor a good 6 months ago. It's not been recently washed, but you can still see there really is hardly any difference. So this is wearing well. It's not been a problem, the fact that we've actually kind of spaced out over such a long period of time getting the car finished in the Raptor paint. Chuffed to bits. This thing is absolutely amazing. It looks fantastic now. Painting it in the black has made all the difference. We've taken off those kind of eyelids on these spotlights here. The spotlights are now working. We've also got some rock lights underneath this to shine in front of the wheels, so if we've got spotters at night time wanting to see where the wheels are going and everything. Indicators are in. We've got these small little side lights that are put in. We'll eventually get these top ones wired in. We might get a light bar and put it under here. But as I said, we've come to the end now of the main build for this. We're going to do another video in the future when we show you how we actually install the winch and how we wire it all up. But yeah, it's been a cracking project, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's really good. It's come out, well, even better than I thought it was going to come out. It's really good.
It's taken us 4 days, isn't it? Because we had a whole weekend when I left the car here.
Yeah.
And then we've done the last 2 Sundays.
Well, I did another day, didn't I? It's taken 5 days all in.
So 5 days of work has gone into building this. We've got some checker plate. I'm going to put maybe some little steps on here just to sort of tidy it up. And just have a bit of, look like a contrast to this black, because this thing is as black as it can be at the moment.
Yeah, you really can't see it. What I'll do, I'll grab it off I'll grab the camera off the stand, walk round, and you can point everything out.
Yeah.
Do you want to turn the lights on?
Yep.
If you go back there, you'll be able to edit to this. So just point everything out to everyone, Chris.
So we've got our spots here. So these come on a separate switch, and basically these also switch on our rock lights, which you can kind of see the light just down there. And if you just tuck up under here, you can see where we've mounted them just there. So they're kind of shining and giving us basically what's going to be a pool of light or puddle of light in front of the wheels. And we've got those on both sides for us. These are side lights, so these just come on with our normal side lights. So we've got to say there'll be a side light here and there's a side light there. We've got our shackles on our winching points there. CB aerials in, we've got that to wire up yet, so we need to sort that out. And also a couple of spots on the top there.
And I think that looks pretty good now. I mean, you've got fantastic approach angles there.
And again, just so to finish off, if you remember guys, we were doing the skid plate. Well, we have got it in place, and what we've done is we basically lipped it up here, so that is fixed to the original winch tray. So we've also now got these additional 2 mounting points. This plate is secured to what is the original kind of steering guard. The steering guard is secured in 4 spaces. We put those shear bolts in, which went in sideways. So like I said, if this thing comes off, then we've probably pulled the car in half anyway. Final thing to do, and the most important thing one would say, is refix the zombie badge, which fell off and revealed the old Mitsubishi one. So note to self, get some better glue. as always guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to click and subscribe below. Leave us a comment, give us some constructive advice if you've got any suggestions or anything you want to sort of know about or know how we've you know, worked on this bumper. We've got some future videos coming up now, haven't we, Paul?
Yeah, there's the second part to the hybrid turbo video.
Yeah, so you're waiting on the intercooler for that.
We're still waiting for the intercooler because we've been let down by, we shan't mention who.
Yeah, okay.
There's
your bumper?
recovery bumper for my truck.
On the Discovery.
Yeah, and
change the rocker gasket.
Rocker gasket on this.
On this, because it still leaks oil everywhere. But that's a long story. But hopefully that will stop some of the oil leak.
We'll cure that.
So we'll be able to take you through the specifics, because it's quite specialist, isn't it? You can get the wrong gasket, or if you don't do the thing properly.
Yeah, there's different gaskets to buy in different qualities. So.
Cool. So I'll make sure.
But we'll sort all that in the video.
We'll leave the links, all the bits and pieces that we get in order to do it. So see you again in the next video. Don't forget to share it with your friends, and I hope you enjoyed our steel winch bumper build.